don't make it out in time, you can freaking die. You can be killed by a wave. And that's what I felt during the writing process so much. It's such an underestimated force, and you can make it your own force, You can harness that, or you can not harness that, but you can use it for your own good, and you can ascend from that. It's such a force, it's so supportive.
Hello, you metal pilgrims, and a very special welcome to all the fans of symphonic metal on this show. For today, I'm more than happy to welcome Gilbert and Nele from the band Elvellon to talk about their upcoming studio album. Gilbert, Nele, thank you so much for finding time and joining me. How are you guys?
Hi, we're fine. Hope you guys are fine too.
Well, yeah, as I told you just a moment before, as fine as I can be here, given the circumstances, of course, but it's fun. Metal keeps us all going, right? And this is the strength to carry on. All right, guys. So obviously the biggest news about Elvellon these days is the release of your upcoming studio album on the 17th of May, and it's coming very, very soon already. So the Ascendant in Synergy record is coming out in just about a week. So first of all, congrats on the release. It's been a long time in the making, and I'm glad that it's out now. So can you tell us a little bit about the creative process behind it, and how you guys all came up with what we can hear today, or I guess in a week?
I think the process began in late 2019. We just played a few festivals in the summer, and then we started to talk about new songs. Well, what's the idea for the new album? Do you have any concept? Do you want to have a concept at all? So the first questions came up, and we started in early 2020 to develop the first ideas. Then COVID hit us all. And then for a few months or nearly a year, we didn't really know what to do and how to do it. At some point, we started working together again in our rehearsal room with face masks and a distance between us. It was hard, but at least we could do anything because we write songs together. We have to sit in a room, really. We're not a band that works like there's one guy or one girl who does all the work and the guys just play whatever they say. As I said, we have to be in a room together, and we did that then from, I don't know, 2020, 21 or something on. And even if it's a long time, we really worked hard and a lot in this period because our songwriting process, it takes the time because everyone is involved at some point, and we discuss a lot of things. It's not a one man or one girl show. So but the development was very nice. I think the album turned out great. We're still swimming on the same waters as before with Until Dawn, but now it's just a bit matured, I would say. The new songs and Nele is taking part a lot more than before in the songwriting process. She's done most of the lyrics, which not have happened before, and also a lot of melodies are come from her part. So it was a nice experience. Was a great time writing this album, and I think the listeners will gonna hear this and enjoy this as well.
Nothing more to add.
It sounds like you guys are doing it in a very old school way, and I love it. I'm a very much of an old school guy. I still listen to the albums in its entirety. I'm one of those like denouncing playlists and stuff like that. Basically, you can see it from the posters and the vinyl records that I have.
I think it's a good thing,
right?
It's so pro artist. That's fine with me. So.
Thank you very much.
But I love it, and I think it, in a way, transcended into the sound. And hear me out here; it's a compliment that I'm about to say. That in a way, it is clearly an album made in the 21st century, right? It's a 2024 album, but at the same time, it has this old school symphonic metal twist to it. I almost feel like it could have been a Nightwish's 1999 record, recorded by different people or something like that, which is a great thing. I'm all pro that. So do you agree with this statement, or and if If yes or no, why so?
Well, I think, first of all, thank you for the compliment. The comparison is obviously something we hear pretty often. Um, and we have learned to take it as a compliment, I think. We are all connected to all the 90s, early 2000s symphonic metal stuff. We all loved it. We all grew up to it or with it. And I think that's really like, it just, it's just connected to us so much and so deeply. And we always tried to bring that back, not as an intention. We want to sound like the old 90s or early 2000s or something like that, but more like we want to write music we really feel and we really feel connected to. And so it unfolds, and that's the sound you can hear on the finished album. Yeah.
You know, in the 21st century, especially now, with the abundance of information, with the abundance of fake news and so on and so forth, people, and including metal fans, and sometimes especially metal fans, value authenticity and honesty. And if you do it in an honest way and not just trying to do it as a rip-off of something else, I think people respect it. And from the response the fans have given to your first record and that I'm seeing online to the singles you've already released from the second album, I think it transcends there, and it's amazing, and I think it's wonderful. So congrats on that. Kudos.
Thank you so much.
Guys, tell us a little bit about the lyrical themes which are running through this record. Are there anything particular you wanted to portray through the lyrics on this album?
Well, I think that's a question for me, since I wrote most of the lyrics this time. As Gilbert said beforehand, we didn't really want to have a second concept album, like the way we did with Until Dawn. And we, of course, have a frame here we worked in, and it's all about discovering your inner power and discovering that you need to get back in touch with yourself. We started writing Ascending and Synergy in 2020, late 2019. And that's when all the COVID stuff happened. And during that time, I really started feeling like everybody's so disconnected, not only to each other, but to themselves. And I wanted to portray that and to emphasize really how important it is to stay in connection with yourself. And it felt I don't want to deny it, it felt kind of therapeutic to me. But it really makes sense because everything you have inside of yourself, that's what you carry, and that's what makes your legacy, and we're always so busy thinking about, I have to achieve this, I have to be that, I have to accomplish goal XYZ, whatever. But that's not what life is about, I think. And I kind of discovered during COVID even more. And that's what Ascending and Synergy is really about. That's what I wanted to portray. And that's what you can also see in the very, very beautiful artwork I'm so proud of.
Well, the artwork, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? I'm looking at it right now, and it's wonderful. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. I'll show it on the screen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So can you tell us what is going on there? It's a guy reaching out from the sea, but then there's. Can you just explain the concept of it?
So, for me, during writing the lyrics for the album, I always felt so connected to water. I think water is such an underestimated power. It can be so calm and so I don't know, inviting, really. When you go to the beach, you look at the ocean and you're like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And all of a sudden it turns into that chaos. And as you can see on the artwork, it's, these huge waves and just chaos. And if you don't make it out in time, you can freaking die. You know, you can be killed by a wave. And that's what I felt during the writing process so much. It's such an underestimated force, and you can make it your own force, you know? You can harness that, and you can not harness that, but you can use it for your own good, and you can ascend from that. It's such a force. It's so supportive, and even though, you know, it can be dangerous, you can use it for your own good. And that's what live also feels for me. It can be so dangerous. It can be so chaotic and overwhelming and whatnot. But if you kind of find out how it works for you, then you can find a way. And that's, yeah, basically what the artwork shows. It's the connection between your outer and inner self ascending from that force.
That's what. Who was the author? Who was the artist behind it?
I always forget his last name. It's Peter
Salai, I think.
Yeah, I can't. Give me a second. I have the vinyl here.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
We have to give him credit. The guy did an awesome job. So yeah.
So here's our vinyl. That will look it up. Yeah. That would be Peter Salai. Yeah. Word Pain Graphics.
That's awesome. Well, Peter, if you're watching this, you did an amazing job. Thank you for that.
He certainly did. Yeah, indeed.
Where do you guys dig for inspiration outside of, gazing at the water, I assume?
Well, I guess many sources. Of course, it's other music, other bands, of course, as well as, of course, I think most of us are fans of movie soundtracks, and by now even game soundtracks, which have become as good as movie soundtracks in the last 20 years. Yeah. And of course, everything that feels like magic in your everyday life, the little things, interconnections, a beautiful scenery, a beautiful sky. I don't know, all the things that give you goosebumps and leave you in awe just to gaze upon. Everything that feels and sounds like poetry.
I think it's basically everything that is capable of moving us, really. It can be the small moments. I remember being on a festival and just enjoying that one song by Albalon. I watched them from the front row, and that was so moving for me. And I try to keep these moments in a little jar and just carry them with me and open that jar whenever I need it. And then it can be these huge moments. I really love these moments we had on stage on these big festivals like Wacken Winter Nights or RockHarz or Mera Luna even. That was so, I don't know, it just moves me. And it can also be nature. Just that for me, it's so much nature. Just being out there and discovering every detail nature gives us to gaze upon, really.
That's cool. So the whole fact that it took you guys, 6 years to release a new album, was it partially due to the fact that there was not enough inspiration, or since you started writing it in 2020, it's been 4 years since you started writing for it, or was it just not the right time for you guys personally to release a new record at that point?
Do you want to start on that, Gilbert?
I can try. It's hard to say, but I think there many things come together. First of all, we're just a band that cannot write fast. Our process is not yet that efficient, yet I would never change it. And maybe not dramatically change it. Of course, there are always little changes, and I don't want to stand against it, but it's just a thing. That's the way we work. I cannot do anything against it. It's just we have to deal with this. And on top came things like we said, like COVID, and there were also some there were also certain illnesses from certain members in the band, and then had to step away for a few months and stuff like that. It's I cannot nail it down to one point. It's really just our way of working, of writing. Just takes time because we have to get all together in a room, which becomes difficult when you get older, when people move away or start to have children and everything. But we have to do it like that because the world has to wait a few years for a new Elvellon album. But I guarantee you, this is 100% Elvellon, and there will no ghost writers or anything, and it comes from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah.
So does that mean that the next album will come out in another 6 years, or are you guys already working on something? You have something already for the follow-up? I know this one is not out yet, so it's kind of
yeah. Well,
we're
we
all
just
keen to. Sorry, we're all keen to start writing again. Actually, we have so many ideas in store. Actually, and I really can't wait to start and to see what's waiting for us, because we write songs. Just the song always writes itself, kind of, and we just have to uncover it. And that's such an interesting process. So it will take time, but we're also contract bound, to be plain honest. So we have to put out music within a certain time frame. So it's not going to be 6 years.
Oh, it's good.
I'm hoping for 4 years, actually, at the moment.
I actually thought about what is realistic, and the normal cycle is like, what, 3 years? And I just
depends on the band, really.
Yeah, but it's like
in the past 40 years, right? I mean, when we're talking about late 70s, early 80s, it was at least one album a year. I mean, Judas Priest had to put out 2 amazing records within 1 year. Stained Glass and oh my God, Killing Machine came out all the same year. If you think about it, it's mind blowing.
True, yeah.
But that now even Judas Priest are releasing, once every 6 years or something like that. Yeah. So
and I really thought like everything less than 4 years is, I think, pretty unrealistic, to be honest. Yeah.
With all the tourist cycles and everything.
Yeah.
Guys, I need to ask this. Where did the name Elvellon came? And I'm sorry if you had to answer this a lot of times in the past, but I don't know, and as a huge Tolkien nerd, I have to know.
Yeah, well, Tolkien is the right direction, I guess. Yeah, because Elvellon is a word from the I don't know what's it in English, Elvish.
It's either Sindarin or Quenya, one of the Elven tongues. Yeah, true. I don't know actually, because the name is from a guitar player who's not in the band anymore. It's in the very early days, like in early 2010, I think. He suggested a few names.
He brought a Tolkien dictionary, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the story I know. I didn't attend that process personally, but that's the story I know. He brought the dictionary and said, let's pick out some cool words. And Elvellon it is. And it means elven friend.
Yeah.
So that sounded kind of cool to all of us.
Well, that's awesome. The nerd in me is satisfied now, and I'm going to re-listen to it once again.
That's awesome.
Talking about this record overall and going and hitting the road with it, are there any particular tracks that you simply cannot wait to play live?
The whole freaking album.
So
let's be honest.
Not enough bands still do it. Just go out on the road and play it in its entirety. I think it's a great record, and I think it would, it would be fun.
So with the first album with Until Dawn, we obviously did that for our release show.
Yeah.
Because we loved it so much. But now that we have some like bangers that people just want to hear really at a concert, we have to sprinkle that in somewhere. So there's not enough time, unfortunately, to play the whole thing. But I would really love to, and I cannot wait to really play first Ocean of Treason and A Legacy Divine. These are the most important songs for me, I guess. But they're all our babies, and I love them all to the core.
That's cool. And as always, to close this episode, because I can talk forever, talking about heavy metal is literally my biggest passion. I can do it for hours and hours. And labels stopped me at some point. They started like saying like, Vlad, please, like 30 minutes, not more, or like please book 2 slots.
I was really curious because yesterday by absolutely coincidence, I watched your interview with Brittany Slace, where you said like sometimes Napalm books like 2 spots for you.
Yeah.
I saw that scheduled our interview, and I was like, will there be another spot? I don't know. Let's see.
That's a cool one. That's a cool one. Yeah, but can you tell us one craziest story, or the one funniest story, or the story that you cherish the most from your tour in life together with Albalon?
That's a tough one.
That's a really tough one. Oh my God.
Something you can legally share with us, like let's leave out those the ones that you cannot share for legal.
Yeah, of course.
Is there one memory in particular, really? I couldn't pin it down to one.
Yeah, me neither.
For me, it's basically coming home after a show or being in a hotel after a show and just having loads and loads and loads of fun and just these crazy guys, watching these crazy guys. It's most of the time we come back from a concert and we start to calm down, like all the endorphins start to just relax, and that's the time when everybody gets crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to describe it. Our drummer, Martin, he's the funniest guy I know. That's really the last level of the game for me. If I have to be serious,
Mm-hmm.
And he's in reach, that's not possible for me. I can't stay serious. And watching Gilbert and Martin together, that's hilarious. I love that, really.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully you guys will be able to make many more of those memories. Hopefully you guys will be able to finally come to Ukraine very, very soon and, play in Kyiv or in any other cities after our victory. So thank you so much for joining. Any last message for the fans, both old and new? Anything you want to share with them?
We're just happy that we have such an amazing fan base. And I think I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really, that's it. We couldn't exist without our fans, and I want to welcome everybody new on board, and I'm just so happy that we are able to do this because of you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This was Gilbert and Nele from the band Albalon, and their newest studio album, Ascendant in Synergy, will be out on May 17th. Make sure to check it out. If you're a fan of symphonic metal, I'm more than sure that you will absolutely freaking enjoy it. Yeah, it's right there, and it's awesome. Gilbert, Nele, thank you so much, guys, and keep rocking.
Thank you. Bye-bye.